All right, Dad, so remember, no spoilers, okay? Because I know
you turned on the AC.
I did not.
you did.
I did not.
Stop.
I know how to operate.
No, you don't. Stop.
Yes, I do. I drive a car.
First of all, the engine ain't even warm yet. All you're doing is blowing cold air.
I know that you're going to say this BS that you do all the time, but that's not how it works no more.
Do you think I know how to operate these things?
No, Dad.
How many Nissans do you think we own?
None.
How many do you think we own?
You own nothing.
Huh?
Owning a Nissan has nothing to do with how heat works, Father.
How does heat work, son? Explain it to me.
I don't need to explain to you.
No,
I'm telling you that
because
you
I'm
don't
ignorant. I want you to talk to me like I'm 4.
I don't want to talk to you about
Tell
it.
me how a heat works in a car. Because you don't know.
Because you don't even understand no. All right?
You don't
That's
know.
The
It's not, I don't understand.
I know how heat works in the car.
Tell me.
Don't have to tell you anything to validate
Just real
my
quick.
business.
It's 60 seconds.
I don't have to.
Just tell me the key component.
Don't worry about it. I do know it.
I know he does because I talk to
I know how to work.
retail.
Are you stupid, man? I know how heat works in a car.
Call me stupid. I'm still your
You
dad.
call me an idiot and dumb and all this.
I have the right. You're my
No,
personal
you don't
slave
have
still.
No rights.
All of you. Still, I still own you.
You don't understand.
Is that right?
Hello and welcome. Today is a very special episode of Review After Watching. Today we just went to go see Alita. We just got out the theater right now. As you can hear, they're very spirited. They're energetic. They have some energy.
Gosh, you turned it all the way off.
I got it. We're
It's cold.
So we were lucky enough to be able to get an opportunity to see Alita Battle Angel a little bit early. Not too much. They were doing a special little feature. They had a little Q&A with the director and some of the actors and stuff after the feature, and we stayed around for a little bit of that. But we did get a chance to see it. So as I told you in our normal episode, we were going to put this up as a special today. So, okay, it's a little... I haven't written anything down, so it's a little raw, but let me tell you, I don't really know how to give a synopsis for this film, so I'm not going to do that.
A little raw is what we do, babe.
Because, yeah, a little raw.
This is raw.
Okay, because there's really no synopsis to give. So, the way that they show it in the trailer is just... It's just her coming to life and learning about the world that she's in, and then people are attacking her. You have no context. And if I gave you context, it would kind of spoil a little bit. So I'm not going to do that. What instead we're going to do is a quick little review of what our individual thoughts were on the film. So Josh, you started asking us as we were walking over here, how we felt about it. Well, what did you think?
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought this movie was everything I wanted it to be. I said last week on the podcast that...
No, it went up today.
Oh, yeah, yesterday on the podcast. Sorry. I said today on the podcast that I just want the movie, even if it's not like a new story, if it's something familiar, I just want to be entertained and enjoy the ride. And that's exactly how I felt. This movie did do some twists and turns I didn't expect. There were moments where I thought, okay, I kind of saw this coming. There's other times I saw, okay, I didn't see this coming at all. This movie in itself, what I thought from the trailer, what this movie was going to be about, it's completely different, and it didn't disappoint in that regards. So as an action film, the movie's amazing. The visual spectacular. The CGI, James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez. Yeah, Robert Rodriguez, man. Their collaborative effort on this is amazing. The performance motion capture is amazing. Best I've ever seen since Avatar. And there were times where I actually forgot that it was a CGI generated character on film.
Absolutely did. And that was part of what they were trying to do. And so to answer your question that you asked me on the podcast, Dad, is how I felt about this movie. And like I said going in, I didn't know. It could go either way. It could be a movie that looks good but ends up being a complete flop, or it could be just a smashing success and they just hit it on all cylinders. And they did that. This movie was way better than I thought it was going to be. I went in there with kind of medium expectations, and I was hoping that it was going to be very good, but it was beyond very good. It was excellent. I think that the action was phenomenal. They did a lot more The movie was more violent than I expected.
Yeah.
Was this movie rated R? Because I don't remember.
It was violent. I don't know what it's rated, but it was.
I don't know,
violent.
but they did. There is an F-bomb in the movie. They do drop.
And there was, but you know what? There was only one.
So I don't know if that's the PG-13
It's
rating.
the obligatory one that you
And
can do.
And there's no blood, so that's interesting.
No, but but it is very visceral.
Yeah, it's like there's some scenes where I was like the brutality and the gruesome. I was like, wow, this is like
I did not expect
it. Away. It's like that's when you saw Robert Rodriguez release influence in the film.
Yeah,
about just the raw carnage of like certain battles or just the annihilation of foes. So it was just it was raw, no pun intended. So and I thought that was pleasant surprise. So yeah, Brandon, like I'm right there with you, man.
This movie was great.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
This movie was fantastic. I thought it was a great blending of, and this is the old guy talking, Bicentennial Man and Rollerball. It was a blending of the old James Caan movie with the games and the...
Those all black and white, right?
No, it's not. Be quiet. Of the sporting spectacular and roller derby mixed together, along with the heart and soul of a robot becoming or having the feelings of a human being like they did in Bicentennial Man. And as well as being a romantic movie at the same time.
Yeah.
They did all these blending of very interesting elements. I think that you need to see it in 3D.
Oh, absolutely.
It is very nice. It's very clear. I think it adds so much to the movie when you see it in 3D.
I think it's essential. I
really do.
Especially in that sporting event you were talking about. I mean, because I took my glasses off for a second just to see what it looked like, and it was still looking good. But I mean, with the glasses on, you were in that arena.
Yeah,
it was powerful.
intense.
You know, it doesn't have those, where they're doing the old 3D where the finger comes out. But it's needed for the depth of the movie, kind of like Avatar. It surrounds the character. It gives it dimension and heart and perception of the room. It's very necessary.
That's what Josh said that it was going to be, and he was right.
It's exactly like Avatar, because James Cameron, the director of Avatar, of the blue people in the world, Pandora, right?
The blue people.
I forget what they were called. Navi, sorry. The Navi people in Pandora.
They're all little genies.
The Smurfs.
Yeah, the Smurfs, whatever. But, so, it has that type of 3D effect, and I haven't seen any... This is the best 3D effect I've seen in a movie since Avatar, to be honest with you. I can't think of anything that just...
I agree.
Didn't feel too corny. I felt immersive, emerged. It was essential, and I agree. It was essential. To me, I felt in there, and it wasn't done tactily. It was just done tastefully, and it was great. So, this movie, if you go on to see it in theaters, it's an IMAX 3D death.
No, I think it was essential it added to the illustration of, what is it, manga? Manga. It helped bring out that type of character, that type of artistry, to where this, and I'm not a big fan, like my sons are.
I've never read any.
That's not true. But
what did you read?
They're not, they're Death Note.
You never read it?
I did.
You read Death Note?
Yeah, I went nuts on Death Note.
Really?
Yeah, I really liked it. So anyway...
Wait, you saw the movie and then
read the manga? I saw the movie. I watched every single cartoon episode.
You watched the anime?
Yeah,
I watched every single one.
Anime. You didn't know that?
No.
I watched every series,
the BB Morrissey case books, the novelization.
And you read it?
Yeah.
You went to town on that.
Be quiet. Like I said.
I thought he was going to bring up some hentai or something. Like he accidentally picked up the wrong book.
So getting back to my point, I think it really
some Bible Black in here.
Yeah.
I'm going to hurt both of you.
You don't even know what that is.
I'm about to only have 2 sons left in a minute.
Talk about the Raw podcast, man.
It added to the artistry of the graphic novel. It really brought it to life. I think it's necessary to see it in 3D. I wonder what it would be like to see that in the D-Box as well in 3D.
You know what? I'm actually thinking I'm going to see this movie again. I really like this movie.
I got a date night coming up on Thursday. This weekend, I got to go see this movie again.
You can't go. You're grounded for back-talking me.
Man, I don't know what's wrong with you. You can't get over it.
Now, Dad, you touched on something. I kind of want to... It reminded me of something else.
What's that?
Do you remember that movie Chappie?
Chappie.
The guy who did District 9 did a movie called Chappie. It was about
District 9.
And it was about a robot kind of getting in emotions and coming to terms with something. I forgot who was in it. and it was a bomb. Nobody liked it. It was not a good movie. It came after. He was the one he did after Elysium. It's like a robot. I think it had like a screen in its chest that showed emotions or something like that. I don't remember. But all I know is that this movie seems like what that movie tried to do, but failed at.
There's a cartoon movie that's on Netflix right now that streams as something like this with the manga or mango or whatever it is that Netflix has on right now.
Japanese culture
with a robot counterpart. It's very good. It's very similar. This was a very good movie. I'm really glad we saw this evening. It was a pleasantly surprising. I really was concerned how Robert Rodriguez might actually end up directing this movie.
Yeah.
Which way it was going to go. He wasn't known for this. And
like we said before, he's so 50-50. You never know which one you're going to get.
Well, he's a good director, but this was a serious special effects based movie. You needed to have a mastery of this craft.
And he touched on that in the Q&A after the film. He explained how he is a very fanciful director. He's an illustrator. He just likes to do whimsical things. And working with James Cameron kind of forced him to pull back
but we
and
didn't
be
know
more
that
realistic.
at the time.
No, we didn't. But he explained it, and it really helped him.
We explain now why it's a successful movie as far as we're concerned. But going in, I had reservations. I like the way he directs. I like his movies. But to do something on this level, he wasn't doing a lot of CGI and all this kind of stuff. This was a big budget.
I mean, he definitely did have it. It's one of the
3D
biggest
effect movie.
Yeah, you're correct on that. It's the biggest movie budget he ever had, and
absolutely.
And he definitely had some CGI effects in like Sin City or artistic, styles. But I think we all had reservations when it came to Robert Rodriguez, and I think he delivered on all fronts in this movie. It's definitely different from any other film he did, and I think that's for the better. And it really, surprisingly, I might be more interested in the next film he does down the line. And going back a little bit in terms of because this movie's based off a Japanese manga, and I think it might be the best manga to film adaptation I've ever seen. And currently in my book is the Rurouni Kenshin movies that I saw. And
I still say Edge of Tomorrow is very good.
But like I don't think Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise, right? Mm-hmm. I love that movie with Tom Cruise. But I think this one beats it. Alita, Battle Angel is better in my book.
I mean,
they're two different types.
Right now, I would agree with you. That's because I'm raw and I just came out of it. But I really like that Tom Cruise movie.
I mean, it's a good movie, but it's don't get me wrong, but this one has me in my books right now. Like Alita, I know I'm gonna see it a second time, and I can't wait till I see it on like my streaming service so I can watch the movie again. Like to me, that's like I've seen this film. It's like this is gonna be a fun film that I can watch again and again and just have a good time.
At the very least,
had that feeling.
Those two movies are equal. I would say right now.
This is a world that they built between James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez and the producer, and that I'm very interested in now. I am very much looking forward to the next addition to this series.
I hope it doesn't take 5 years. Though.
I hope it doesn't either.
Yeah,
if they use the same people and the script detail was incredible. They made a very interesting story, a very compelling story. They really told it well. Robert Rodriguez did a fantastic job in directing this. He really came out of his comfort zone and out of his lane, and it paid dividends. I couldn't see it. Of course, James Cameron must have saw it because he gave him control of this thing. And it was fantastic. The acting performances, off the chart. Christopher Waltz always delivers a Oscar-worthy type performance. This guy really nailed it in the feeling of the father.
So does Jennifer Connelly. She earns hers.
Jennifer Connelly, she played her role really good, but the young lady, what's her name, that plays Alita?
Rosa Salazar.
Nailed it.
She did.
Her I've never even heard of her before. It doesn't mean anything other than I hadn't heard of her, but her ability to sell emotion and everything with her face and subtle motion. I mean, I was really enraptured in this movie. The character was very good.
And I want people to know that this is not just a full-on CG movie. What they did a lot of set building, and they kind of created the world that these characters would inhabit. And they did some motion capture with Alita. She was the most CG character on screen at all times, but a lot of it was real sets, real people walking around. And I think that was what made the movie feel more real and what kept it grounded.
The motion capture in this movie is on par, I believe, if better than in Planet of the Apes. They've gotten it even better than in Planet of the Apes, the
Well,
recent reboots.
This is different.
I still think Planet of the Apes is better because they turned a human into a monkey, man. That's impressive.
We're talking about two different things. It's not motion capture in this film. It's performance capture.
Performance capture. I'm sorry, you're right.
I mean, yeah, but it's two sides of the same coin.
I mean,
the only difference between motion capture and performance capture is whether or not you use the face.
I mean, and that's good, and I think for this film, and that's a big difference because with Alita's character, like that's the reason why I felt so connected to the character and like believed her emotions, and that she was no longer like just like a CGI person to me. And
they do the same thing in Planet of the Apes, though. You know that, right? Like they do mod Andy Serkis's face when they're doing Caesar. Like it is performance capture, just like in this movie.
Whatever kind of capture it was, the girl captured our hearts and mind with her performance. It was fantastic.
No, I'm not taking it away. I just personally give the Planet of the Apes an edge up because they make ape believable, and that's impressive to me.
I think they've taken it another step. I mean, that was impressive. I think they've actually built upon it and gone to a whole nother level. I think the next one that gentleman does, what is his name, Andy Serkis or something like that?
Yeah.
I think the next one is just going to be insane. Their ability and their advancements in this capture technology, thrilling. You totally forgot. You knew and you forgot at the same time that this was a animation. And
you absolutely did.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, it blended very well with the characters. And back to Brandon's original point, well, they actually use real sets and real props, and it's not just green screen. It just gave the film a real grounded feeling, and you were very able to a tactile feel that you were very able to connect with the set pieces a little bit. And what I mean by that, it's just not like when you watch like a Marvel movie, you could just see that sometimes the characters are surrounded by CGI all around them, and just I really believe in like practical effects and practical sets, and and that's the difference between like I guess like the Force Awakens and the Last Jedi. It's more grounded a little bit, so I appreciate that approach in this film, man. Just like it makes it makes it more cohesive and all the way overall just all together. Put together better, I guess.
I like what you're saying. I think what this movie does is just kicked everybody else in the behind because now you have to up your game. You're not going to be able to get away with lousy green screen or lousy CGI. You're now going to have to come. Well, except for things that are already in production, okay, halfway through or whatever, you're going to have to come to another level.
Maybe, because like at the end of the day, like if anything, I just think this just puts like a stamp on James Cameron's production house or his collaborative efforts in terms of CGI and 3D. He's the best at it because Avatar kicked everybody's butts in behind.
Bro, until 2018, when The Force Awakens came out, he had 2 of the top grossing movies.
Yeah. I'm not even talking
back to back. Like that's
I'm
crazy.
not even talking about
We're just talking about technology.
Technology-wise, in terms of like, we got to up our ante. It's just like, people were still doing 3D today after Avatar, and they didn't even step up to that level. And so I'm like,
expensive.
it is expensive.
Imagine,
but like if they did, it would be great. But I don't know if this movie's going to have that effect because like maybe Avatar did once, and this is probably going to do it again. I think it's fantastic.
I hope so.
Yeah. Imagine if they had this level of motion capture or performance capture for Thanos. Okay.
Well, Thanos was really
Thanos
good.
was pretty good though.
Yeah,
they did do performance capture with him.
But this level was insane.
I mean,
this was a new level.
They need to walk on Will Smith and Aladdin real quick.
Oh, let's not even talk
that trailer. Oh, my God. I don't even know how he took that role.
No, remember how we talked about it? We thought that he was just going to do the voice for a CG character.
Yeah.
What the heck are they doing?
Dude, I mean, like, you could just tell that it's still it's not done in post.
It doesn't matter.
His face was all over the place.
Oh my God, it looked so bad.
They should have really just used the original track with Ryan Williams and came up with a computer generated, so it would have been much better.
Nah, I mean,
anything. They could have painted Josh blue and it would have been better.
We'll see, man. I'm not turned off for the movie right now. It just like
no, we're just talking about one particular role in the movie.
No, I think the interesting take for Genie and Will Smith being blue is not. It's interesting. I can see how it pans out, but everything else I've seen about Aladdin has me excited. I love that thing. But
when it comes out, we'll review it and let you guys know. But let's do the final thoughts. Oh, see, perfect timing. That's whenever that happens, that means it's time to go. So, Dad, are you going to see this movie again?
It may be one I see again because there were a lot of like I was saying. yesterday. A lot of nuances in this movie. A lot of things I wasn't expecting. I want to look at stuff that's happening in the background. I was so focused in and enraptured in the character that now maybe I'll see it again and see things that were happening. There were things happening in the background that I didn't have time to devote much of my attention to. So I want to go back and take a look at it. I was driven by the story and the characters that were on screen. They did keep my focus the whole time. So yeah, I may see it again. It was a very enjoyable movie. Like I said, little things jumped out at me. It was very violent, but no blood and this and yada, yada, yada.
High praise, high praise. Now, Josh, what about you?
Yeah, I definitely see this movie again, without question. I'm actually going to see it later again this week. So yeah, I encourage everybody to go see it. If you have like any kids, like the film is very violent and there is blood in the movie.
Yeah, it's not red. It's like greenish cyborg blood.
I mean, no, those regular blood, the cyborg blood.
It's just visceral.
Those gore in the movie.
You should not take a kid to see this.
Yeah, it's And don't say no. I know what's in the movie. But
I said no, don't take a kid. I'm agreeing with your brother.
Yeah, what the heck is wrong with you? You're the one trying to encourage people to go see
I'm
these
in his
things.
A-man corner, and you telling me
you just
it.
got done telling the people that there's no blood in this movie.
No, there's not blood when, like, in some of the fight scenes where there was cuts and wounds, there was no blood. There was blood in particular scenes, like where he was doing.
I mean,
without giving
family, how wonderful. Thank you guys for joining us on this special episode of Review After Watching. We will see you again next week. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed our little preview of Alita. And please, go see it yourself in 3D. Highly recommended by all of us. We'll see you again next time.
This has been an Audio Mind production.